Welcome to Love Where You Live, a podcast where we have conversations about how awesome it is to live in Boulder County. And today is one of those days when I get to share with you a conversation and a deepening of a friendship with a guy that I know, but I don't know as well as I will in 40 minutes. Let's say it that way. I'm getting to know Eric Reed, the man sitting next to me. He is the operator, the founder, the owner of one of my favorite little spots called Acme Fine Goods in Louisville, Colorado. Eric, thank you so much for taking time to sit with me.
Well, thank you for having me. Yeah, thanks for the invitation. And I'll tell you all about myself for sure. We'll get you set.
There you go. Start at the beginning. We'll go. So no, but this is really cool, Eric, is that some of the guests we've had, I know them and I've gotten to know them better. But with you, it's really like we're going to become friends today. And I've said that, but like we get to become a little more friends. I get to learn more about your background, your past, your history. And before I go into the past, I'll say, folks, the reason Eric's here is because he is, from my view, a guy that is a true family man, which is close to my heart. He's a community member. He loves community. He loves the Louisville community. He loves to foster, grow, and be a part of it, which I totally dig. And then he's also a small business owner of a super cool shop. And so with that, Eric, what have I left off the bio?
Man, there's a number of things. I mean, at this point, we can get into hobbies and life and all the places I'm from and traveled and all the rest. But cool. I mean, I think, for me right now, you're right. I'm a family man. I've got 2 kids going through that process. We've all been there. And if you haven't, good luck. As a small business owner, same, good luck. It's been 5 years coming up for Acme. June 1st, will be 5 years.
That's
which
awesome.
is amazing and kind of shocking to imagine that amount of time has gone by that quickly. And, in the day, obviously, how many things you can pack into a calendar, but to turn back and think about that type of timeline is pretty wild. And I mean, you're going to have questions for me. We can fill in the gaps, but sure. It's one of those things where I appreciate being here and it's fun to chat. So
nice, Eric. Well, 5 years, first off, congratulations.
Thank you.
2019, if I'm decent with math, that means you opened and you went into the pandemic, which was not easy on retail. No. Then you came out strong. So I'll do this as we go back to, because I like to maybe try and go chronological, but I'll say my first introduction, and this is kind of why do I have Eric here? I'm a guy that used to run around in spandex all the time. I didn't have a sense of style. I may still not, but Amanda said, you've got to come in here and meet this guy. He's got this shop in Louisville and he's got cool clothes. And I do what my wife says. So I go in. And the thing that impressed me, Eric, was you're 6'5", you're good looking. You're good looking. You got good clothes, and you come up to me right away, and you're like, "Yeah, I can see your build. You're tall. You're thin. You got broad shoulders, long arms. This is a shirt that'll fit you. That's a style. This is a thing. Boom!" And you put it on me, and I love an expert, and you were spot on. And so immediately, I'm like, "This is my guy. I will shop here for all my clothes."
Well,
true story.
I mean. Thank you. Glad it worked out that way. Doesn't always work that way every time, but I think, the shop is built for men originally.
Right.
Just opened it up again, going back to the beginning of it, June 1, 2019, I opened up for the Taste of Louisville. So I'd have a crowd right around the front of the store and brought in the brands that I knew. I'd been doing this for a long time in the outdoor industry, from fly fishing and bag and pack and hard goods and apparel. And so I had an idea what I wanted to do when I opened up Acme.
Sure.
And named it after kind of the historical portion of Louisville. So Acme Coal Mining Company. So that's what the name came from. Obviously, Wile E. Coyote, we all get a nod out of Acme on that one. And that's okay. And that's what I want. I want people to have different interactions with the space and with the name itself. And then when they come in, they're going to meet someone like me who knows what they're talking about. And even if I don't, I sound like I do. So that's pretty important. Working in different industries and travel and all the fun, it's been able to figure out what people do and do not like. And, there's a history in Colorado of the athletics and, I mean, come on, we're in Boulder County. This is what we're here to talk about. I mean, this is the Colorado Mecca. If you're going to plant a flag as an outdoor brand, you want to be here. The Pearl Street Mall now with every brand under the sun. And that really means every brand. And the new ones coming out, trying to make their name. And So seeing all that happening and getting ready and opening up a store, I knew that you could go to X giant store and buy your tent, right?
Sure.
I wasn't going to sell you a tent. I wanted to sell you something you could wear all the time and still look like you didn't just come off a trail when you're standing in New York, when you're in LA or you're in Italy. But at the same time, not look out of place walking around Pearl Street or going to a restaurant that me and you could just pick a number of 20 of them that we could recommend. But I wanted to be Colorado, at the same time fashionable. And we're not known, like you just said, for being super fashionable in Colorado. It's a lot of spandex. It's a lot of, there are the spandex spots. You can go see them on Saturdays and Sundays where the bicycles do stop and they get their cortada and they move on. But so I opened up in June 1st and 6 months of peacocking, feeling really good about myself and what I was doing in my little store and building in the community. I knew a lot of the business owners in town. I moved to Louisville in 2015 with my family and, just had an idea that it would fit. And then, crack the doors open and people were there and all of a sudden it's Christmas and you're like, all right, we're really on. And I was a sole proprietor and owner and operator. I did not have an employee. My first 6 months was just me every day. You come and get it. You're going to see me blast through holiday. And man, I had an idea that it would work and it really did. And then, January, February, which are the doldrums of retail and all the things. And you're like, all right, great. And I'm going to go into the shows and outdoor retailer and all these things that I had been doing for other brands. But now I'm wearing the buyer tag so I can go into any booth I want. Yeah. I don't get stopped at the door. Oh, I don't have an appointment. Who knew? I'm going to walk in anyways. And so I'm feeling great. Things are good. And March came around. 2020. And any of us who were around at the time, we all know what that looked like. And everyone has their memory of when it clicked.
Sure.
Mine was standing actually at that point, applauding my daughter's musical at Louisville Middle School.
Right.
And everyone's phones went off. All the parents in the audience are looking around at each other and their lights are on and school was canceled.
That's it.
Tomorrow, it was a Thursday night. Tomorrow morning, everyone come and get your stuff out of the lockers. We have 1 week till spring break, and then we'll see what happens. And then there it went. That was COVID.
Dang. Well, so Eric, here's like this is, and I have to understand how you push through that. I want to just rewind because we're old school. Let's hit the tape deck here.
Let's do it.
Let's go back. Where did you come from? Like, where did you grow up? Where were you a little kid?
Yeah, I was a little kid in Springfield, Massachusetts.
No, I didn't know that.
Home of basketball. It's a sport people play. It's a thing. I grew up in Springfield, Massachusetts. My father was born in Springfield, Massachusetts. My mother was from New Jersey. They met when my mom was at Springfield College. And I grew up kind of Western Massachusetts, hanging out and kind of, it was the city. It was fun. It was
the city, huh?
Yeah, it was and I'm to age myself because that's what we're all here for is to know the truth. So I'm about to turn 46. So product of the 80s,
right?
Jumping bikes without helmets and, running around and being
crashing.
out. Yeah, absolutely crashing. We can go through the list of injuries if you want to do that. Grew up in Springfield and, but had a love for being outside. My mom and my dad would drop me off and I'd fish all day by myself, or my grandfather would take me out and teach me how to do things like fly fishing. And so, it just, as time went on, I realized I was a much happier, better person being outside. And I have two younger sisters, one of which is an amazing, talented artist and designer. But she was the person who would ask for like the sheets of paper for their birthday. I was looking for new lures and, baseball bats and being outside playing sports. And so, all of that kind of continued on snowballing into playing all sorts of sports through high school and all the rest. But I was really not school motivated.
Traditional sports, Eric, like basketball, baseball.
I make the joke about basketball because I'm 6'5", and I can ball, but I don't play. So, so for me, it was more, mountain biking and skiing. My dad brought me at one point to come just to go look at a ski mountain, what it looked like. Mount Tom. This is in Holyoke, Massachusetts. Look it up. It doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
Went and got to see people sliding down the snow on skis, and that was it. I was in. I was hooked. So, I mean, no one in my family skied. My dad.
Site. You were at site. I'm skiing. That's
boom. That's it. Yeah. I mean, and it was, I mean, I still think I can remember exactly the day. I can still remember it. And then like to me in memory, it wasn't soon enough. I was in a lesson. My sister and I both went, and I put on skis and skated away. And that was it. My sister and I were really close until I learned how to ski. And then that was the end of it. So, moved on, and skiing was a huge part. I went with every family I could find, friends who would go off and do it. And I would tag along and do what I could to stay up and go ski as much as possible. Mountain biking, fishing was a huge piece for me. We used to travel to the ocean and go to saltwater. So I grew up pushing, tossing big eels and all sorts of saltwater stuff for stripers and bluefish. I grew up pushing a boat, delivering people to their sailboats in high school as a job. In the summertime, I would scrape boats. And then when someone needed to get out to the mooring, I would run the tiller run motor and deliver them to their beautiful sailboats. And oh yeah, I was a salty kid for sure. That's great. In the ocean all the time. But then skiing continued to be the focus, and I played lacrosse and I played baseball and I played the high school stuff that you get to, but a group of friends of mine, we just kind of grabbed onto it, skied anytime we could. As soon as someone got a license, we were gone. I mean, it was like junior skip day. That was a new thing. It wasn't senior skip day. As soon as someone had a license, we were gone. And so a group of us kind of got to a point where we're not going to college. We're moving off. What are we going to do? And I went from Western Massachusetts to Red Cliff, Colorado in 1996.
Where's Red Cliff?
That is Red Cliff, Colorado is just outside of Leadville.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, at the time it was about a population of 200 maybe.
What? Wait. Why?
Because I wanted to ski.
Is it a ski town?
And no. The answer was I had never been to Colorado.
Okay.
I was graduating high school, did not want to stay in Western Massachusetts, wasn't going off to college. And so 4 of us who graduated decided we were going to move to Colorado.
Fine.
I still have a photo of the list handwritten on with a pencil of the towns in Colorado that we were researching. And this is like pre-internet.
Sure. Yeah.
So we were like literally at libraries looking up like what's going on in Loveland, Colorado, or like, literally. And we knew all the ski resorts. We had the maps of those. But a friend of mine who still lives here in Colorado, and we're still close, his uncle had a place for us in Red Cliff, Colorado.
Red Cliff.
So he gave us a garage to move into July 10th. 1996.
Garage, July 10th, 1996. My son's birthday, July 10th. So wait, sorry. Garage or apartment in the garage?
No,
moving into the garage. Okay, carry on.
This was cement floor, proper garage.
At least it's July.
And right. Well, I mean, I could go on for days about this, just that whole, like the kind of the story, but landing in Red Cliff, Colorado at night, driving up Battle Mountain from Minturn, e-brakes pulling around the dirt corners, not knowing that it's 1,000-foot drop to the river down below. So yeah, we landed in Red Cliff. We made it. And that next morning, Pete Coulthard told us we had 1 month. You have 1 month here, boys.
The garage owner.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you will be working here, and you will be looking for a place to live, and you'll be fine. And that was it. I mean, he didn't move to Red Cliff, Colorado to raise 4 18-year-old boys.
No.
So we were there, it worked out, and flash forward, here I am. So you're welcome. That's the end of the story. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, we're done here. No, that was it. Colorado was to go to the mountains.
So, all right, this is awesome. So, because I mean, outdoor kid, fishing, driving boats, doing all the things. You're drawn to the outside. Skiing is your passion, and skiing plus those summer activities draw you to Colorado, or is it really primarily the snow?
I mean, I watched Warren Miller movies growing up.
Okay, there it is.
I mean, and so I knew that there was summer here.
Yeah, you knew they had it. Yeah.
And, the old saying back in the day when there were like proper season people.
Sure, the real stuff.
It was, you move here for the winter, you stay for the summers.
Gotcha.
Right? You come to the mountains because you're here to ski, you're here to go to wherever you were. And we ended up in Avon and Beaver Creek.
Okay, you left.
So we left Red Cliff. We were able to get out of the garage. It worked out.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. It was seriously.
Okay.
I'm glad I moved on.
Yeah.
But yeah, Beaver Creek and Vail. So lived in the valley up there for just short of 4 years.
All right.
chased a woman down here, and yeah, it worked out. So.
Tell me more about that. So you're you don't have to tell me about the woman.
That's all right. She's my wife. It's
okay.
fine.
Perfect. Good. That I was hoping you'd say that. So you're in this environment, early 20s, and you're loving it, skiing, doing some fun jobs.
Yeah.
Meet someone.
Yeah.
And she said, I don't want to live here anymore. Let's go to Boulder County.
Well, no, I mean, she was already on her way out of there. She wasn't waiting for me. She had her own program going on, which is the best type of person. And so, yeah, no, we met up in the mountains. She was actually from Massachusetts as well. So we met through another mutual Massachusetts person.
Okay.
And there's a term called the mass hole.
I was wondering if that was something I could say.
And I can say it.
Because you're from there.
And I'm from there.
I can't say
it's a term of endearment. You can use
say it.
Absolutely.
I don't.
And I love it. It like vibrates the blood the right way.
Perfect.
It feels good. But so mass holes can recognize another mass hole.
Understood.
And so, yeah, exactly. You know what I mean. And so, yeah, so I met her up there, and she was, we were snowboarding at the time. Things transitioned. We were all snowboarding back in that time period, late 90s.
It's the 90s.
Skis were terrible. Let's be honest.
Straight and long.
They were terrible. And so, yeah, living up there where it snowed, riding snowboards and working all sorts of jobs from retail, a lot of retail and service, doing food, all of flinging pizzas. We did it all.
Yeah, you did it all.
And so, yeah, met Sarah up there, and she was deferred. She actually had gotten into CU Boulder the year before, deferred and went up and just go play in the mountains. Had a friend who she had known for a long time, who we were already friends by the time got to meet her. And yeah, figured it was probably a better move to chase her to Boulder. And I had some friends from that original group that we moved out here with had moved down.
Right.
Figured it was probably better to maybe get an education and figure this out if I wanted to hang on to her as long as I could. So.
Both of you. So she's CU deferred. You decide to go to college or get a studying going? Okay.
And my long story long to get into CU Boulder. I mean, my grades were not great. I was good enough to play sports in high school, but not enough to go to college. And so, I worked worked during the day and went to night school and got my grades up so I could apply.
Good man.
Continuing education student.
Fantastic.
Applaud everyone who now takes what they call gap years or whatever. I had no intention, but now here we are. And so I went to CU Boulder. Flash forward, got a degree in environmental studies, water specialization, geography and geology minor. And check me out if I'm not right on all that. And I went to CU Boulder, great experience. And, it was CU Boulder. It was gorgeous. Yeah. I mean, just driving up here today, I was like, man, this place really is pretty. I mean, and I lived here for a long time. And every time I come around the corner, I'm like, this is the campus that kids go to school on. I mean,
what the heck? I know. And you live in Louisville, also pretty. So, it's like you're a stone's throw. So it is a testament to the beauty of our area. We kind of forget. So, Eric.
Yeah.
1990 something?
96,
you roll down to the Boulder Valley.
Oh yeah, 2000.
2000.
Come down to Boulder.
Yep. 2000. You and Sarah, you move in. You start doing night school. What's for you? That's really your intro to Boulder, right? To the Valley.
Yeah, you'd take some little field trips out of the mountains just to come down and get out of there. And, but no, I mean, Boulder, that was it. Landed in Boulder. I was on Bluff Street right near Pearl. And
what?
Yeah. Oh, we were renting the most amazing apartment. We don't have to to get into it.
No, we do. I love this. So, not all of it, Eric. This is a family show, but so Bluff where? What? I'm a weirdo, but
no.
Bluff
and Folsom. Right. You come off of Folsom, take a left. And it was the first house on the right-hand side. This wild, house, glass front, stone front yard. It's been there forever. I mean, it's still there. Same one.
On the north side.
Yeah.
20, 25, 55 or something like that bluff.
Yeah.
In that
zone. We'll leave it to the professionals to remember the actual address. But so I moved in there, and I moved in there with my, my girlfriend, Sarah, and then two other women who she was roommates with when she was living in Table Mesa. So again, this is
hot spot. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, and right there in the heart of it. And so I came out of the mountains and I was like, all right, what am I doing? So I worked for Whole Foods for a moment there because I had been working in specialty foods, running a market up in Vail. So worked for the deli at Whole Foods.
Okay.
Big love to Whole Foods. I shop there all the time, but not the place I wanted to work.
Right.
So I ended up at Salvaggio's for some old school folk.
Oh, yes.
So anyone who knows about right there, right at the corner.
hub.
Like, yep, the one. And anyone who knows about sandwiches and bread, that was the spot.
They're were you in that vibe? Because I remember going into Salvages the first time, and you're such a customer service dude, and they're like mean.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, oh, I have to like the mean. Like it was kind of a mean vibe, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta be honest with you, Michael. I am a customer service guy, but I loved it. It
you
was
loved
so
it,
fun. And because let's be clear, that was run by a masshole.
Yeah,
he's from Boston. Steve,
I get it.
Steve Salvaggio. I mean, yeah, shout out to him. And so, yeah, no, I mean, I went from Whole Foods. No, let's go back. I went from Vail, where the world's elite travels.
Sure.
The world's elite.
Yes.
I was running especially foods, all of it. Right, here we are. It ain't quite Aspen, but
oh yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. No, it's fine. I'm here for you. I'll fact check you.
Perfect.
But yeah, but went from Vail, where I am serving like the world's elite, and then moved back down to Boulder, or moved to Boulder, got a job at Whole Foods, and I was at that point kind of done.
Yeah, I get it.
Kind of smooching butts.
I get it.
And so I left Whole Foods, walking home back to Bluff. And it's right around the corner.
Of course, it's on your way.
It's right there. And there was a sign in the window at Salvaggio's. I walked in, ordered a sub, got myself a sandwich, and the bread was amazing. It's all boar's head, which is the meats. And they were mean to me. And I was like, oh, this is my place. And I needed it. I needed it for a little bit. And, and making sandwiches, you're going to smell like pickles. It's going to happen. But you have to kind of endure that for the bread. And I ended up working there, and I was baking bread there for a while, so I was the early guy who'd make all the bread and prep all the prime rib back in the day when it was prime rib in the window. And we're getting nods all over the place.
What a
I know.
spot.
Acknowledged the cameraman for a moment there, but he just nodded.
Correct.
And yeah, so it was, yes, I enjoyed the mean, mostly the sign. It just said no sprouts, no avocado, no ums. And it was when you walk up to the plate, it's time. This is like this is pre-Soup Nazi. This is like before it was on television. You needed to know what you wanted, not what you don't.
I would go up there, Eric, and be like, could I get the do you have exactly?
It was so much fun. And again, it's part of your sandwich. It makes it taste that much better when it's got some sarcasm slathered on it.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
So there.
So good.
That was that.
All right. So that's what. So I love this. This is really could have been scripted. So all right, now your degree, which is totally cool. That degree sort of fits in Boulder as well. Fits in Colorado, very applicable. And Sarah's through. You guys are a Bluff Street. What happened as you're kind of leaving Bluff Street? Where was your next iteration of Eric in Boulder?
Man, next was actually was over 34th and Baseline.
Okay,
so
good spot,
right off. The towers over there. So right over there.
Baseline sub.
And it's right. And it was a great spot for us. I mean, it was having another, roommates through college and moving around. And, but that area was fantastic. It was easy for us. And it was a great community, families around. It wasn't the Pearl Street kind of, walkability, but it was also easy enough. And we were there for a while. And then actually we then went from there over to like Kennedy, which is off of Arapahoe, which is now completely built up around there with the hospital and all the stuff. And so we were kind of all over Boulder. And at the time, with my degree in environmental studies, I was kind of pursuing education.
Gotcha.
And so what was happening was I was working for Science Discovery through CU Boulder. So I was actually teaching. I was, assistant before I graduated, and then I graduated, and I was taking 15 passenger vans out to the mountains and around Chautauqua.
Perfect.
And walking young middle school and elementary kids around. And here's another, a big giant guy who you generally don't get to see in a classroom. And so I got to wander them about and explore and be outside every day. And
very cool.
Work in the classroom. So I bumped around a bunch of different classes and schools throughout Boulder County. And it was just a great program to kind of continue kind of pushing and kind of encouraging people to go outside and see what they had right in their front door.
Well, and that's your space. I mean, that's how you grew up, and then you're here in a place that appreciates it. So what a wonderful interaction. And the kids, I'm sure they love that.
It was a lot of fun.
I'm sure you both loved that, all of you. Yeah. So, all right, now, if we kind of hit the fast forward now, you mentioned the brands and some of the outdoor companies you repped and you work for, and the knowledge, and you start to get into that retail space and the maybe that's not retail, the apparel, outdoor apparel brands. Was that the next thing for you? No, there's more. Tell us more.
I mean, it's honestly, I everything that I've done got me to here, right? And that's kind of
well said.
Old, kind of old thinking, but I mean, none of it was straightforward. Yeah. A lot of it I take from all sorts of education. I mean, I talk about some of the best training that I ever got from a professional standpoint was actually at Burger King. And this is circa 1996, 18-year-old. So living in Red Cliff, finally move out, broke my arm, mountain biking. Another story I'll tell you another time. And I ended up needing a job. Like I did not have insurance. I was like trying to figure this out. And I walked into what is now the Burger King in Avon, Colorado. It was just opening. I was like round one of hires. And I was there for a month or two when they first went. And then boom, I ended up becoming an assistant manager because I showed up on time and I could speak and do the thing.
Right.
But they would sit you down and put you in these like VHS, like proper little television on the wall.
Right.
And I would watch these like management and
training
videos. And the whole point was that it was all about having consistency, right? The product should be the thing every time, right? And so, and again, you've heard it before, like a Big Mac is a Big Mac. You know exactly what it is and you know what it should taste like, but we're talking about Burger King. So a Whopper is a Whopper, right? And that's a very different thing. You never mix the two. A Whopper isn't served at McDonald's. It's only served at Burger King.
That's true.
And so over time, what I was getting was all this little sales techniques and ways to talk about things. And all the jobs since then have just been storytelling and conversations and asking the open-ended questions that you can have. And so from, your question moving forward, which is, I've worked in food and wine. We lived in San Francisco. We left Colorado and came back. And so I was living in San Francisco. I was working for a place called AG Ferrari Foods, Food and Wine. I was learning about Italian cheeses and learning all the processes and all these things. And then back to the East Coast for grad school for my wife. And so back home, I was shooting photography and shooting weddings. And I was at the time picking up sales for the fly fishing companies I was working for. And these are all people I met along the way doing me, just being me. And so, Beulah Fly Rods out of Oregon and Bauer Reels from down in the same in Ashland. And then you get into Galvan Reels in California and Morningstar Lanyards from Idaho. And so moving all these things around and telling the stories and then being a road warrior sales rep.
Right.
So really honing the craft, like going in and talking to a business owner who's like, what are you going to do for me?
Exactly. That's not easy.
You're my rep.
Yeah.
Who are you exactly?
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do for me? And so it got to a point where I realized that the best way to go about what I was doing was to use my mouth, talk, work my way through it, ask those questions, find out the answers from the people who know better, which is the people I'm talking to. And so,
oh, cool.
Yeah. And so as you go, now you come into, I've worked for Topo Designs here in Colorado. We moved back. I'll just chronologically put it. 2015, my wife and I were like, that's enough. East Coast, we're out of here.
Yes.
And so we came back to, we were coming back to Colorado. We knew it was going to be Boulder area from the outdoor industry stuff I was working on. My wife had gotten a master's in mechanical engineering. She's the brains in the team. And so, I kind of came back and landed with Topo Designs, opened their flagship up here on Pearl Street in 2015.
Gotcha.
And I opened that up and I hung the walls and painted and did all the stuff. And hired my team and built that up there and ran that for 3 years. And again, back in Colorado, back in Boulder, like rolling in Wonder Juice and seeing my people. And you're living in it. It's a nice little area.
And when you came back, so now this is awesome. Thank you. That's a perfect summary. And so you've left twice, but coming back from the East Coast, you're here now, 15. Where did the pin drop? Where did you set up shop?
It was Louisville.
And
100%.
So, and the decision was kind of no brainer. We want this town.
Well,
coming. What do you think?
The answer was, it was Boulder County for sure.
For sure.
There was some conversations of like, can we go to the mountains? Can we detach like that? Could we go to Crested Butte? Could we do that? We have friends there. We've got people up in the mountains, up in all over Colorado. And it was still Boulder County.
I love it.
And it was just the proximity to Denver, the industry and the work. And, we weren't quite ready to go up there yet.
Okay.
And I say up there, meaning
up
west
there.
of here.
Up
right?
there, yeah.
And so when we came back, we were staying with friends in Lafayette.
Okay.
Who, again, guy that I moved here with back in 1996 with his family. And we were kind of poking around and we went over to Louisville and took a stroll, and I had gone to Louisville previously when we were here before, but it wasn't, it wasn't in my memory as like, this is where I want to be.
Right.
But after being gone and then coming back and seeing what they could do in Old Town and what was happening for the restaurants and the walkability. And so, we went from a Boulder County kind of circle to a Lafayette, Louisville circle. Mm-hmm. And then we started looking at some places and we're like, we're just going to wait until we find the right spot in Louisville.
And you did. That's it.
Oh, we nailed it. Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, all right, this is good. Now let's get right back to where we almost hit. It's March 13th, 2020, and no school tomorrow. And you're like, I've got a brand new retail store.
That's right.
I'm good at what I do. I can prove it. But now you're in the throes of retail. So, sorry, you guys can't work. How did that look for you? I mean, you're thriving now. It's like.
Yeah. Well, I think, I mean, let's be clear. If anyone says they were like, all right, fine, I got this, they're out of their mind. They're lying to you.
Totally.
But I'd rather be driving the car than in the back seat. So
Great.
Owning my spot and making the decisions that I had made while opening it and building it, I'd set myself up so it wasn't failed tomorrow.
Perfect.
Right? I had some time. Some time. But again, I had just trying to step up. Like I said, I used the word peacocking. I was peacocking around in that 2020 time, and I had hired somebody. It was next step. And
gotcha.
So I had an employee as soon as we closed. It was like we were shut down. And so I had to make some decisions about that and paid them up and continued to keep them around and built the website better. And I mean, we were closed for 2 months. I mean, proper 2 months. And so we were, it was scary.
Right.
But I also, it was one of those moments where I had to kind of like, all right, there's nothing I can do. Everyone else is going through this. I am not a restaurant where I need to serve people food. I'm not a grocery store.
Right.
Like, I'm just going to hold tight.
Good.
But being that I've been involved with my community for so long, it was a lot of promoting the other ones, helping, at the time, helping your Moxie Bread Co. and Pika's around the corner. And these are all people I know well and my neighbors. Yes. And so promoting them so that they don't go away.
Right.
And,
good for you.
And I, at the time, that was when I really started digging into the Downtown Business Association. So I was getting involved with them. So another downtown association that supports all the restaurants and businesses and service. And so when we could reopen, it was all about like, look, we need to support everybody right now. Like, I'm finally open. I want, please come buy something from me so I can keep my business going. But also, while you're here, go get a coffee or go get a loaf of bread, or please, by all means, if you feel comfortable, get a massage, go get a haircut, like do all the things that keep the businesses vibrant downtown. And so, COVID was scary and it went on for a while.
It did. Well, so again, I mentioned when I first met you and the interaction, that was a rosy version. I also remember in early 2021, you were kind enough to let me highlight your business. And the reason we did that video was because that was in 21. And we were trying to help expose you like you did to your fellow businessmen and women. We wanted to expose you, get people going, because let's get back to it.
Yeah.
Let's get back to buying and selling and eating and drinking and massaging. So when you were, 21, now 22, tell me more about that and where you've gone with the business.
The business has, and I've been very fortunate by making some good decisions. I haven't completely screwed it up yet. But it's also been, again, like, but being the driver has allowed me to make some decisions that have been nimble, being able to do things that maybe a bigger place may not be able to pull off.
Like it.
And so that can be from the brands that I carry, and, what I carry in there isn't seen anywhere else. And so that's the thing. So part of what I do over there is, it's fine goods, less bad, right? That's hand painted on the window at my store. You can come see it anytime. And so, but the trick is that I offer things that you can't get at the mall. I offer things that you can't buy in a big box store generally. Yeah. And, things come and they go. And I have loyalty to the companies and the brands that I work, but I sell. But, at the end of the day, it's me paying for it. And I got to turn around and find a way to get it on your back. Yeah,
that's right.
And, I do all the things that make it customer service and white glove. You go in there, if I hand wrap everything. It's going to, like, if you need a gift, I've got you, like men's, women's, brands from all over. I mean, the jacket I'm wearing is from Japan. I mean, there's all sorts. Yeah. But as the years have gone on, it's been, man, I really need to get a bigger place. I need a bigger space. I need more employees. People are hard to find. And what I do isn't just folding shirts. Like it's, again, meeting people and figuring out sizing and what are they going to wear and what's comfortable for them. And that has everything to do with price and their need. And so
it's a skill. You have the skill. I mean, you've worked hard at it, but you have the skill because you do get that whole picture, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think, again, and that's part of, I don't know. I mean, it's part of being open to it and asking the right questions, right? Like there are many people, I mean, daily you hear people ask the wrong question.
That's true. And it's funny, you ask good questions, you pay attention, and to that, and in that area, I just want to go back to you said it, the community. You are, to me, a really awesome and integral piece of the Louisville community. And so tell us why that's so important to you and how you kind of came to be that person.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think, I don't know. I mean, you could go back to some, romantic memory of when I was a kid and like my dad was having us go around and knock on doors for the Jerry Fund for muscular dystrophy. And like, there's all sorts of things that I could go through. My father was a business owner of his own. He started his own business and ran that until he retired. And I think, but for me in a community base, I think I'm a talker, meeting people. And so, and so like before I had my business, other business owners and I were friends, it's like, and they're the same, they're the parents of the kids your kids go to school with. And
that's right. Trent, right?
Trent at Pika's. And I mean, I could go through the list of all the names of the people there. And so for Louisville, I live in Old Town. I can walk into town. And when I planted my store there, it was walking distance. Like I can walk right down Main Street and see all the people I work with and support and what keep our vibrant downtown going. And I mean, let's be clear, like housing prices are because of a vibrant downtown.
That's right.
People want to be here.
That's right.
They want to come and hang out. And so for me, being involved is only beneficial to my own business, but I also am not going to be a successful business if I'm surrounded by unsuccessful businesses.
Good. That's very true. And that's an awesome observation.
And and I get it. And I was just talking to someone just outside this door talking about bandwidth, I tend to keep making a bigger plate so I can put more on it. And eventually I'm going to have to like push some stuff off and that's okay. But at the same time, I'm now involved with the Downtown Business Association, which is the street fair, right? The live music every Friday night. I'm on the music committee, so I pick out the music.
Nice.
I'm the MC for the street
course.
Fair. And then with the DBA, I speak at city council meetings. I'm at the Louisville Revitalization Committee. I'm at the EVC, the Economic Vitality Committee. I mean, there's so much that's there, and if you want to be involved, there's a million things to do.
Yeah.
Right. And with my business, there's no better way to do it than to support all the other businesses in the downtown and try to find ways to get more people into town to spread the love.
Spread the love. Yes, sir. I mean, you make me think of the expression, a rising tide lifts all boats, right? That's you. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're on that, you're helping that. And so, okay, let's get to some other fun stuff because we could go for, as you and I, we could go for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we wouldn't know we did it. But, here's a good one. What do we not know about Louisville? What's the inside jam of like somewhere that I've got to, be it a treat to eat, coffee, food, trail, hike, game, share it. Louisville love.
Yeah, Louisville love. That's a good Instagram handle. Follow. Some great photos.
Is it really?
There's some out there. Yeah, it's a great
use that one.
Obscure person, but it's amazing. But in Louisville, people know the highlight reel, right? There's the Moxies, there's the Verde, there's the Picas, there's 740. Waterloo,
Punch Buggy,
and so here we are. So that top set, right?
Okay.
But the ones that when I think of it, there's the Sweet Cow, the dairy side of things, but then there's the Punch Buggy.
Did I steal it just now? Was that like I read your mind? Okay, go.
We're getting there. But Punch Buggy was getting love. For sure.
Okay,
and that's amazing. She's got one in Lafayette now. She's got her truck. I mean. Amazing. Go see Punch Buggy if you don't know about shave ice.
Tell them what it is.
This is true Hawaiian shave ice bra. And so this is like Obey, like whip. This is the Dole whip. This is the things that you only get in Hawaii or in Louisville, Colorado. And then, so from there, there's also, I don't know if you know about Nora's. You know about Nora's?
No, I write down stuff.
Oh boy, hold
Nora's,
up.
tell me.
So Nora's on South Street in Maine.
Okay.
There's an event center there that was built a couple years ago. South Street Market's amazing.
Gotcha. Okay.
But downstairs in Nora's, if you can find it, there's not a lot of signage, but that's the whole point of it. All the way down to the bottom, there's a speakeasy down there called Nora's.
Nice.
And if you're looking for a good cocktail, that's a great spot to go. And again, you've got, let's see, you got Jasmine Bar, which is incredible right behind Pour. Behind Bittersweet on Main Street.
Jasmine.
And then, from there, there's also, there's the classics. And again, where we live in Boulder County, like you drive 15 minutes, you feel like you've gone a long way. And there's something even, you can go to Erie. There's amazing food happening in Erie.
I know. Some good ones.
Should we name them?
Yeah, do it.
Birdhouse. You know about Birdhouse?
I went there. I was like, where you been all my life? Birdhouse.
And that's a menu that will like twist somebody up. That's tiki bar, tacos, and ramen.
Right.
So if you're looking for something that's not supposed to mix up well, it's a good one. And as a foodie, I'm into it. That's a good one. In Louisville.
What's their other? You've been to the other place? They have community. What's the Birdhouse people have something in Lafayette?
Yeah, so that's Community Supper Club.
There.
Yo, it's so good.
Another good one.
Community's so good.
They're delicious.
And again, that's Lafayette. It's our neighbor. Like I tell people, like, where are you from? They're like, oh, Brimfield. I'm like, that's my neighbor. Oh, how about Lafayette? That's my neighbor. That's great.
Nice.
And so, you can go down to South Public Road in Lafayette and you can see, Teocalli. There's some food around.
For sure.
But then, sticking in Louisville, you got your restaurants and then I don't know if have you been to the Underground yet?
No.
So where Verde is on Main Street and Pine.
Faves. Yep.
Downstairs, there's Tilt Pinball.
Oh yeah. Someone told me.
So Tilt Pinball is amazing. And again, they're open late. You can go down there and have a beer. Yeah. It's amazing.
Fun.
They have leagues. And then through that hallway is the Underground. And the Underground does comedy shows, music.
Nice.
It exists right there in Old Town and no one would have a clue. And it's in the old basement of the original Blue Parrot. So the Blue Parrot that made it 99 years. So there's history in Louisville. It's not manufactured old town.
No,
it's a really old town. Like the tunnels that exist in the old buildings on Main Street, I have a door that used to lead to another building across the street in the building that I'm in.
That's so cool.
And so there's so much history there from all the mining that was going on, French town, Italy town, all the families, the Kalachis, and it's wild over there.
Did you? Yeah, we used to go to Pasquini's when it was there,
right?
And that's a one that's like a love lost because they were some of the best Italian food, kind of calzones and pizzas and that little nod to Pasquini's.
Yeah, and
they were next door to you pretty much.
Someone around the next person will tell you that it was the Blue Parrot only.
Only.
Right, and there's the competing factions of Italian love. And I'm from New England, so we have a whole nother conversation about Italian food. But it's the secrets are in there, and that's kind of the fun part of what's going on in Louisville. Is like you come down and you have a coffee and you poke around, and all of a sudden you're at Nora's having a cocktail, and you never know.
So where do I? So all right, this a couple kind of things, and we're gonna wrap it here, and we'll do round two another day. Tell me where, if I'm just gonna meet you and I'm gonna go for a shop right after, where am I gonna grab a coffee? Where do you shoot me in for a coffee? Is it fair to give me one or two?
I can do it. It's okay. I'm
fair.
not going to hurt anyone's feelings.
No, they might not be listening.
Maybe they will. I'll just promote it. Giovanetti is the coffee. That's the spot in town. So that's right in the State Mercantile Building, right over on Main Street and Spruce. And he, roasts in house. If you're looking for a really cool bean, it's called Sadamo.
Okay.
Amazing coffee.
I'm writing all this down because I'm a nerd and I can't wait. So, all right. So I'll get a coffee, Giovanetti.
Getting a coffee.
Come over, and I have to come because I'm wearing a wrinkled shirt right now.
That's
one of my favorites, but I have to go out to Acme. Where just while I'm there, where can people find you in case they're not, online, but where's your physical location where they're coming in?
So we're at 915 Walnut Street in Louisville. So it's right at the corner of Main and Walnut.
Yeah.
And there's a barber shop that's been there for 20 years called the Thunderbird Barber, cash only. Okay. And they're right next door.
Right in there. Okay.
Yep, right there. You'll see the roses on my door. It's all hand painted. You'll be able to see it. Nice white building on the corner. And again, from there, you've got the farmers market every Saturday has just started. So just the day before Mother's Day. So last week, and I'll have a tent every Saturday from now until October, right out front of
Out front. Oh, sweet. I can't wait. I love summer. And okay, so guys, this is seriously absolute encouragement. Go check out his shop. It did used to be men's. They have men's and women's. Jill, you got her in there now, and you have others, but I know Jill, and they're getting in there and they're showing you stuff. They know everything. And so if you have a clothing need, but beyond that, bags, accessories, knives, boots, shoes. I mean, you have so much cool. It's just fun. Even if you're not shopping, let's say you're on a budget, go in there and check it out because it's cool to look around. It really is an awesome vibe.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the number one thing for me when a customer comes through the door is that everyone's a customer, whether they're buying something or not. I want every person to come in and get the service that the same person who would spend, X amount of dollars.
$6,754.
Whatever you want. I'm almost at a number, but I'm not going to do it. I want anyone to feel bad. No, I mean, I think I want people to come in and poke around. And I mean, there's photos me as a baby and my mom in the back corner, and we play records on Sundays. And I mean, it's a
vinyl.
Come and hang out. I mean, honestly, I want people to come in and ask me the same questions you just did.
Yeah.
Where should I go to dinner?
That's it. And this is it. I mean, truly, Eric, you're a community guy. I said it, family, community, business owner, operator. It's so fun. So to close out, obviously there's in the back of your head, put this, that what I forgot to ask you, I want you to have that come up, but on sort of a semi-closing note, what does a perfect Boulder County, Louisville day look like for you? And it can be any day of the week. Anything goes here. Just share it. Let me envision this.
I mean, right now, I mean, I'm a seasonal guy. Like I do like my snow, right? So, but we're coming into spring. It's a Saturday morning, waking up early, being outside, walking the dog into town, stopping at Moxie, getting an iced chai, picking up a snack. I mean, those Queen of Mons, so good. Strolling through town, seeing people playing around, kids all over the place on bikes, and hearing those bells of people like ding, ding, get out of the way. Yes. And then it's farmer's market, hanging out, seeing all the folks, picking up patch chilies and seeing Tabor Farms, all the flowers that they bring in, and street musicians and buskers. And then it's lunch. I mean, it goes on. I mean, the day is long here in Colorado.
Keep it going.
And then, I mean, lunch picas, come on, El Pastor taco.
Ah, my favorite.
El Pastor, and that actually the shrimp ceviche tostada,
also delicious.
So it's spicy,
surprisingly spicy. I know.
Spicy.
So,
and let's be clear, it's a Saturday, so I can do what I want. So I'll get the hibiscus margarita over there, no salt.
Perfect.
And then on to the next. I mean, it's a walk down Coal Creek Trail right there, and go see the water moving through, and there's animals all over the place, birds, hawks. I'm a big bird guy. I'm a birder.
Burger.
And then, I'm a birder. And then, to be honest, I mean, I have kids. My son plays lacrosse for Boulder Valley, and, that's coming to an end. He's going into high school, so all sorts of things there. And, I mean, going to a lacrosse game, seeing them get their butts kicked by some other team that look like they're, grown-ups playing us Boulder kids. And, and then evening, to be honest, I mean, it's, summertime, it's music going all over the place. There's the places in Boulder here to go. When was the last time you went to the Fox, just to add you?
It's been
a long time.
Way too long.
I was thinking about it the other day, because I think once you hit a certain age, you go to the Boulder Theater.
Totally. You're like,
then you go to Chautauqua. Right. There's an age.
I'm closing in on Chautauqua age.
Oh, Chautauqua. Oh man, I just looked. Squirrel Nut Zippers are playing at Chautauqua this summer.
Yes.
Remember the Squirrel Nut Zippers?
Totally. I'm thinking of Boot Scoop Boogie. No, what's it? Not
no,
Boot Scoop
but
Boogie.
I'm about to sing it. I can't do it.
No,
but yeah, but Damnation is the song I'm about to talk about. But anyways, so I mean, seeing them at Chautauqua, I mean, July 13th or whatever, just to promote.
First off, I just have to slap myself for saying a Brooks and Dunn song. I was trying to come up with the swing song from Squirrel Nut Zipper, not obviously. Anyway. Los Lobos go in there too. Do you like Los Lobos? They're going to Chautauqua.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, so Chautauqua. Yep, exactly. And so your show, picking something up and sitting and having a picnic in front of Chautauqua and going to a show at Chautauqua, sunset.
Perfect day.
And then you're in a building that's been around for like 100 and something years.
So good. Okay.
And you're home. I mean, and then you drive home with the windows open. It's summertime. It's gorgeous.
Perfect. I mean, that was excellent, because I've got you. I could see you doing that, and I can actually say that's a pretty ideal Saturday.
I mean, that was without all the athletics for myself. I mean, let's be clear.
That's
like,
not, yeah.
Go mountain biking in the morning or something like that. I'm trying to keep it pedestrian.
No, that's good. That's good. And you're still, wonderful, Eric. So awesome. I mean, truly we could go on forever, but tell me this, anything that I just dropped the ball on and you said, man, I thought you were going to ask me about this. If not, that's okay. No's a fine answer, but anything you want to share with our peeps that are listening in?
I mean, I don't think you dropped the ball on anything, Michael. You're all right. You got this. I think, I honestly, I just really appreciate being part of this. And, I appreciate the compliments. I really do take pride in being a community guy and supporting other businesses. And I mean, I could have listed 1,000 other places, and I feel bad when I don't. But it's also, this is a place of exploration. Colorado is an amazing place to find your people and, the trails that you love. And again, like I think about some of the questions you've asked other people, like what's the secret trail? Like what's your favorite hike or something like that? And to be honest, there's just too many.
There's too many.
And I'm a big fan of Buena Vista and being out in Salida.
Sure,
and
getting down the road.
I'm a rafting guy and I fish and all those things. And it's all right here. And it's not to be a complete promo for Colorado, tourist board or like people moving in, but this place is amazing. I mean, what the weather's been like, and you turn the sun on in the morning and everything's neon. The lilacs are amazing. I mean, it's beautiful here. So
it's crazy.
No, I don't think there's anything we missed. There's a lot more we could fill in, but those are different questions. So.
Another conversation, another time. Because you're awesome, Eric. And the compliments are genuine. I think you're just fantastic. I love what you do, and we get to interact on social. I've watched you, even though, as you know, I haven't been to the shop in a while. Coming in soon, coming in hot. I'm going to get a couple good items because you do help me rep a good Colorado vibe out in the scene. So, Eric, it's awesome. Thank you so much for coming. It's really cool.
What a pleasure. I really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, Eric Reed, this is it. Acme Fine Goods. They're in Louisville. Check him out and also share the show because I think a lot of people need to hear this good community vibe, Colorado vibe from this mass hole. But as we do, until the next episode, folks, please, I encourage you to go out and do something that you love.